No one actually prepares you for what it feels like after you quit your six-figure job. Not your first week, not your first month, but actually what happens like when that high of quitting actually wears off. About a year ago, I actually quit my high-paying pharmacist job pretty much forever. I have no plans of ever going back. I was making a little less than $170,000 per year in San Diego, California. And on paper, it looked amazing. And the people around me thought I was like, oh, you're set for life, especially, um, my friends and peers who didn't make six figures. But it's kind of hard to explain to other people, like, it's really not that much, especially after taxes and retirement plans and insurance. It was pretty much like less than six figures, actually, after all those expenses. But here's a truth that no one really tells you. The first couple months are fucking amazing. Effing amazing. Excuse my language. You feel free. You feel super like uncomfortable. There's so many changes. And then one day, like 2 months later down the line, you just wake up and you're like, shit, did I just like ruin my whole life? And it gets kind of scary. And I remember I was just like driving through the city one day and I was just pondering. I was like, man, did I just let everyone down? My friends, my family, my parents who supported me through this, my brother, and it was kind of odd, and it was just not a nice feeling. Some of my friends, some of my families, they saw me as like a very successful pharmacist. I remember even hearing some of my family like brag to like some of their friends, oh yeah, Jeff became a pharmacist. I was like, shoot, little did they know I was trying to find a way to stop working as a pharmacist. And even my younger self, I felt like I let my younger self down. He was 18 or 25 years old. Now, I would remember telling myself back in the days, yeah, the day you become a pharmacist, Jeff, you're going to be so proud. You're going to have the life you want. Everything's going to be exactly what you wanted. And here I am thinking that I just threw it all away. But here's like what really shocked me, to be honest. It wasn't actually like leaving the money behind. It's actually like the identity that you leave behind. Like for so long, I was a pharmacist. I was a pharmacy clerk, pharmacy intern, pharmacy extern, pharmacist. For 15 years, that was my identity. And here I am just throwing it all away. You realize that the person you imagined at 18 is no longer the person you want to be at age 34, And that's how old I am. They're not the same person. You want different things. Just like your 5-year-old self did not want the same things that your 18-year-old self. Life goes on exactly that way. So I imagine the 34-year-old myself now does not want the same thing that my 44-year-old self wants later. But what I want to tell everyone and what I want to tell my future self, my younger self, is that's okay. And what no one really prepares you for is like limbo, like that in between, that weird stage where you don't know whether what you're doing is right or wrong. You don't know your next move. Like there was always some clear structure, some clear path before of where you should be going. High school, college, health professional school, practice, have kids, white picket fence. And here I am, age 34, and I've done a lot of those things. And not having kids, but working on that one. But still feeling unfulfilled with my work and imagining that I could be more. And honestly, I was like embarrassed at first for a long time just to say, yeah, I'm lost. But here's the part that like really changed my life. One day I realized like if I mess up, it's fine, it's my fault. But if things go amazing, that's also my fault. And that feeling, that ownership, it's something that I wouldn't trade for the world. And it's honestly something I couldn't experience as a pharmacist, knowing I had no desire to actually own my own pharmacy. And it was great helping patients. I felt great about that. But the drive just wasn't there anymore. Like I didn't feel like there was any more massive growth to be made in the field that I was in. And today what drives me honestly isn't money. It's how do I become 1% better every single day? And there's actually this Japanese term called Kaizen that says how do we become better 1% at least every single day? And if you make that the goal, you likely won't get burned out. How do I make it feel like a video game where I'm leveling up every single day? How do I make it so I feel like I'm not just stuck in a prettier cage where I make more money and I'm just making someone else rich all the time? And if you're a high income earner and you feel trapped in a job that pays you a lot, but you don't feel good, I'm telling you, clarity is actually the answer. And it's something you don't just like randomly find. It's something you have to create. So the moment that you actually step out of that job, you take the risk, you start panicking, and the moment you take ownership of the situation, even if it's uncertain, that's when life like really, really starts. And for those of you interested, if you guys are interested in how I actually like started the process of actually stepping away from my work, I'm gonna leave a link down below to our free course on like how I did it. It's about an hour long. Pretty fun, I think. A lot of my friends think I'm pretty funny. Thanks for watching.